Now, as many of you know, I take my greatest pride in not only my service in the state police, but I was a United States Marine. And now to become a United States Marine, you go down to a little place called Parris Island, South Carolina, where the friendly drill instructors make sure your every day is full of fun and adventure. But once you graduate, you become a United States Marine, they send you to your first training location, and they wanted me to learn electronics, avionics, keep those big helicopters in the air. So they sent me to a place I had never been to before. It was the great state of Tennessee, Naval Air Station, Memphis. Town of Millington, Tennessee, just outside the great city of Memphis, you know. Well, I was down there training, found myself homesick, missing my family, my folks, my friends. So I told myself, I said, Clark, that's my last name, Clark. Clark, take yourself out to church. So I got my car. I drove myself down to the great city of Memphis, Tennessee, and there I found the biggest Southern Baptist church I possibly could find, you know, and I walk inside, and what do I see? 3,000 people inside, and they're just rocking and rolling. I said, this is church? Wow, but they were singing music that I had never heard before. They called it gospel music. I said, oh, I kind of like this. Warmed my soul, lifted my heart, made me forget all about being homesick. Now, I'm going to need your help singing the #1 church song of all time, but I do have to tell you the story. Because the #1 church song of all time was written by a man who started his life as the captain of a terrible slave trading ship. And this man, Captain Newton, he found himself one night, he was in a terrible storm at sea. He thought for sure his ship was gonna sink, he was gonna die, so you know what he does? He falls down onto the deck of his ship. He looks up to the heavens, he says, Lord, if you spare my life tonight, I promise you I'll let go of all my sinful ways and I will spend the rest of my life praising you. Well, God was listening. And he got Captain Newton back to shore. He spared the ship, the men, the cargo, and you know what? Captain Newton kept his promise to the Lord. He left being the captain of that terrible ship and he became a pastor. And wouldn't you believe the pastor started to write church hymns? He ends up writing the #1 church hymn and the #1 song of all time. A song so powerful that it inspired a gentleman from the House of Lords in Great Britain to lead their abolitionist movement. A song whose tune came from the chanting of the slaves in the bowels of the ship. You've heard this song so well. It's many people's favorite song, the one and only Amazing Grace. Fire me up. Here we go. Sing with me now. Come on, you know this. Amazing grace, oh, the sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, oh, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. great My Country 'Tis of Thee came from North Andover, but you know, there's another song that's so beautiful that many people think it should be our national anthem. And wherever I go in this nation, I tell them the story about the young lady who wrote it, because she was one of the first literary professors at the great Wellesley College. She traveled this nation, made it all the way out to the Rocky Mountains, Pikes Peak. And in 1893, she climbed Pikes Peak on the back of a mule. She looked back over this nation. She was so moved by what she saw, she wrote a poem. That poem was put to music, so beloved, many people think this song should be our national anthem. If you go a stone's throw away down to Falmouth, Massachusetts, right in front of the public library, there's a beautiful statue in this young lady's honor. Her name, Catherine Lee Bates from Falmouth, Massachusetts, and she wrote, America the Beautiful. Please sing with me. God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy goods with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful, for he was proved in liberating strife. More than self, their country and mercy are more than life. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy goods with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Thank you. Now, you know, I walked across a county courthouse square. On a park bench, I saw an old man. He was sitting there. I said, "The old courthouse is kind of run down." He said, "Nah, it'll do for our little town." I said, "The old flagpole, it's leaning a little bit. And that's a ragged old flag you got hanging on it." He said, "Have a seat." And I sat down. He said, "Is this the first time you've been to our little town?" I said, "I think it is." He said, "Well, we don't like to brag, but we're kind of proud of that ragged old flag. You see, we got a hole in that flag over there when Washington took it across the Delaware. And you know she got powder burned the night that Francis Scott Key sat watching her writing, 'Oh, say, can you see?' She got a big rip in New Orleans with Pakenham and Jackson tugging at her seams. And she almost fell at the Alamo, side that Texas flag, but they waved on no. She got cut with a sword at Chancellorsville, and she got cut again at Shiloh Hill. There was Robert E. Lee, Beauregard, and Bragg. And that south wind, she blew hard on our ragged old flag. On Flanders Field in World War I, she got a big hole from a Bertha gun. She turned blood red in World War II, and she hung limp and low a time or two. She was in Korea, Vietnam, and now Afghanistan. She went where she was sent by her Uncle Sam. She waved on our ships upon the briny foam, and now you know, they've almost done quit waving back here at home. In her own good land here, she has been abused. She's been burned, dishonored, denied, and refused, and the government for which she stands is sometimes scandalized throughout the land. She's been getting threadbare, and she's wearing thin. But she's in good shape for the shape she's in, 'cause she's been through the fire before, and I believe that she can take a whole lot more. So we raise her up every morning, and we lower her down slow every night. We don't let her touch the ground, and we fold her up just right. You know, on second thought, I do like to brag, 'cause I know that we're all mighty proud of our ragged old flag. Ladies and gentlemen, I offer you the national anthem of the United States of America, our Star-Spangled Banner. Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched was so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you so much, and God bless America.